Hey everybody, it is Trey here, back with another great edition of Reactions to the Classics. We got the Eagles' Hotel California legendary album today. I'm joined by my lovely mother Gina, and I really haven't ever listened to the Eagles. What about you?
Yes, actually, one of my big connections to it was when I was a freshman in college. My friends and I took a road trip to California, and so we needed an anthem, so to speak. And so we listened to Hotel California on repeat all the way there and back to our road trip. And so that's kind of like my own personal connection to the album.
Cool, yeah. So you're kind of getting a little reaction and a little, throwback review a little bit. So, and also, guys, you know how we like to play the songs in the background, but due to the Eagles strict copyright, I'm just going to be able to play a little snippet here and there, and then I'll have some instrumentals and live performances in, and we'll try to kind of avoid that copyright. But all that to say, let's get to it. Let's get some quick facts here rocking. This legendary album came out December 8th of '76. It is ranked number 37th on the Rolling Stones top albums of all time list, so very critically acclaimed. It reached number 1 in its heyday on the Billboard Top 200, has 3 singles, and has sold over 42 million copies worldwide, one of the best-selling albums of all time. And Gina, you got some thoughts on the themes of the album?
The overall themes that run throughout all of the songs on the album, a loss of innocence, the perils of fame, just the excess that our culture, at this point, this was, in 1976, but I mean, even to this day, it's,
I noticed that it was still relatable, and I think that's what great music can do. It relates in its time, and also however long it's been, 40 years later.
Kind of look around and see these same things play out in life today.
With that being said, we're going to jump into our track-by-track review. We start off with the legendary Hotel California. So what do you think of this?
All right, so this was one of my favorite songs on the album.
I'd agree with that. This was the one song I was familiar with coming into it.
It was ranked 49 on the Rolling Stones greatest songs of all time. And one of the interesting things I thought on this was just the idea of Hotel California. There's a lot of speculation on what is the hotel, and there's not an actual hotel.
No,
like
I was reading
artwork
that.
on the cover, is a Beverly Hills hotel. So there's not like a Hotel California. It just is like California.
Hotel California. Just generally speaking, with the lyrics, there's a lot of people that have different interpretations on how they're feeling the song, type of thing.
So, and that really kind of hit home for me. I'm a language arts teacher. Literature and looking at literary devices is something I do on a daily basis. So I like this song for that very reason, to listen to it and see how I interpret those things and compare it to the interpretation that other people had, and to just see, am I on the right track? Am I way over here? Way over here? But ultimately, I just think it tells a story, and that's what I like about it as well.
And you bring up a great point. The imagery in this song is almost like you're watching a TV show or movie. I could imagine this guy going in, he sees the figure at the door, he walks in, he hears the voices, welcome to the Hotel California, has some ominous back vocals, talks of luxury, promiscuity, alcohol,
drug addiction.
It talks about all this, and the people go to the feast kind of as the verses progress. This guy's getting deeper and deeper, and eventually he wants to leave Hotel California, but then the doorman's there. You can check out, but you can never leave. Those are famous lyrics. I love that. You might want to leave Hotel California. You might even one day physically leave it, but the effects
it's in you forever.
Just legendary song, one of my favorites on it. And we go from that right into another single, New Kid in Town. This was sung by TREY, this is his only song that he sung on this. He was supposed to sing 2, but this was probably my least favorite song on the album, but that being said, I still dug it. It kind of talks about how in love, or really kind of in fame, and with their band, how you're kind of the new kid in town, everybody loves you, but somebody new is going to come around, either another lover or another band or musician. It is kind of ironic, though, since this album is one of the best of all time. They really didn't. There wasn't a new kid in town.
It wasn't fleeting like they thought it would be
for them. So I thought that was interesting. There's rumors that they wrote this after seeing Bruce Springsteen.
And it was their first single released. It reached number 1. So I mean, people did like it. But I'm with you. It was not one of my favorite ones on the album. But I mean, I didn't dislike it, but it was not up there. It's one of my favorite ones.
And then we move right into Life in the Fast Lane. I was also familiar with this. You hear this on every classic rock. I didn't dislike this one either. I thought it was pretty catchy. They said that the genesis of writing this song came when Glenn Frey was riding with a drug dealer, and he was asking him to slow down, and then the drug dealer was like, hey, it's life in the fast lane. If that's true or not, who knows? It could just be a nice story, but I thought the guitar riffs in here were pretty groovy, just kind of a, yet again, going back to that theme of the excess and whatnot, and how this is catching up with this couple that's living life in the fast lane, going crazy.
I'm more of a ballad person, so I didn't love this one as much as some of the other slower ballads. Also, I thought that since they wanted to kind of get away from that country rock, that country sound, that this was a good one to lead them down to just straight up rock and roll.
Pure rock and roll. No, that's a very good point. And then we move into Wasted Time. What were your thoughts on that one?
I really like this one. I like a good ballad. Basically losing a love, like, was it wasted time when they were together? Did they grow from it? I think there towards the end it's like, was it wasted time, or are we going to learn something from this later down the road, or perhaps get back together later and maybe it wasn't such a waste?
This was probably one of my top 3 tracks. I think this thing's pretty underrated just on the album as a whole, and I'm with you. I just like kind of the slower pace to it and the lyrical content, kind of similar to a later track, Try and Love Again, just about love, like, okay, was this relationship really worth it? Did I learn from it? This song ends the A-side on the record, and then the B-side starts with just a little reprieve, the little instrumental of the same song. Just like a minute long, and then we go right into Victim of Love, which starts off with some groovy guitar work and is a lot more upbeat. A character who is just kind of saying they're a victim of love, but they're not really doing anything to get out of their victimization. They're kind of staying in this bad relationship or around it, and so yet again another interesting concept on love there, and I dug this one. I
felt like it had more of the rock feel than the ballad feel. One of the things that I found interesting on this one, Felder was supposed to be the lead vocals on this. He actually did lay down the vocals for it, but it wasn't band quality, and so their band manager, I guess, took him out to lunch. Don Henley went ahead and
just laid
recorded
down
it, and that's what they put on, and that's what you hear now. So I'm sure that Felder probably felt a little.
Poor Felder, man, comes back. He's like, "Oh, y'all just went ahead and laid down this track."
It was solid, like you said, middle of the road.
Yeah, and then it takes us right into Pretty Maids All in a Row. This is by Joe Walsh, so we had another voice here. So that's 3 different lead singers here. We go kind of like you were saying, Gina, the switch in tempos from rock to kind of ballad, and that's what we had here. It's lyrical content, kind of about how either friends or old lovers are reconvening and seeing each other after a long time, and just kind of how life goes pretty fast.
Felt like it had kind of a haunting sound to it.
Yeah,
if I were, as a ballad, because we'll get to Try and Love Again here in a minute, but in comparison to that, I thought that this was more of a haunting sound.
I totally agree, and all the instrumentation throughout this whole album is pretty tight, pretty concise. I know they like to edit a lot in the studio. Then that gives us right into Try and Love Again. This was also one of my favorites. Takes the same tone as Wasted Time and just expands on it. This guy is really hurt over a relationship that failed, and in the first couple verses of the song, he's like, gosh, I wake up and I'm still hurting, thinking of this woman, and is he gonna try and love again? Is he gonna put himself out there and try again to open himself up to love? Because last time he had it failed.
And that's what I thought. It was more upbeat, because I felt like it was kind of, because he was going to pick himself up, at least try to love again, no matter how heartbroken I was. And so it just kind of, that more optimism, optimistic flair to it. So no matter how long it takes, I'm going to try.
I'll try again. No, that's very great, great analysis. And I just really dug this. Almost as much as I dug this final track, The Last Resort. And this is a song that I connected to a lot, especially in the place we live.
Yes.
We live in a very booming town in the DFW area. I won't name names, but I saw a lot of similarities here. And this was kind of written, not actually about California, but I was reading Aspen, Colorado.
Okay.
So that's, how it was a great booming place, and it was almost like a paradise. And then as more people figured it out, the rich people came in, exploited, took the land, just kind of destroyed what was so great about it.
Of what it was.
And this, there's 8 verses here. There's not a chorus, which I thought was interesting, and it's just a lot of lyrics to make you think. America has, got all its land with the Native Americans, taking them off, and then just in general, we went as far west as possible, and now there's no more land.
Ran out of place, yeah.
So out of now it's like, and then towards the end, he's all like, he essentially says, if you find a paradise, just
keep it to
enjoy
yourself.
it. Yeah, don't tell anybody. So I thought that was very interesting, and
and then
cool.
The lyrics specifically, I thought that it was a wise decision, I guess. I mean, it's kind of jarring, but the rich man came and raped the land. Like, that's such a violent, it creates such a violence in your mind, so you can really stop and think. It's like they weren't just, chopping down some trees.
No.
Like, they came and just destroyed
it, took away everything that was innocent and good about it.
And then in a Rolling Stone interview, Henley actually was saying, well, first of all, this was one of his favorite songs. It's my favorite song on the album. But he was saying that the gist of the song was, when we find something good, we destroy it, and we have mortgaged our future for gain and greed. And so that book ends off of Hotel California, that excess and living that,
very good point.
Life just more, greed.
You'd almost say this is a concept album in a sense, just because, you just see the themes in almost every song. You got some songs about love there, of course, but just kind of the greed and just the excess of the culture at that time, and that's still very prevalent consumerism today. But that leads us right into our favorite tracks. We've already kind of said. For me, Hotel California is still probably my favorite, even though I've heard it a lot, and that might be the reason it is my favorite. But The Last Resort and Wasted Time would be at the top for me. And least favorite track would be New Kid in Town. Like I said, I didn't hate it or anything, but it just didn't have that, next tier flair that some of these others did.
My favorite, Last Resort. Hotel California will always, be up there for me. Like I said, I have that personal connection to it from way back in 1995. But and then Try and Love Again was another one that I really enjoyed as well. So, and then my least favorite, because I'm more of the ballad person and less of the rock and roll. Life in the Fast Lane, Victim of Love were down there, but that wasn't necessarily that I didn't like them. It was just the style of the song.
Exactly. And then that kind of takes us into our segment: overrated, underrated, properly rated. I'm leaning towards properly rated with maybe just a pinch of overrated in here. Overall, I'm going to stay with a solid properly rated.
Yeah, that's what I did. I did properly rated. I think that Hotel California was the highlight of it. I think that if they would have highlighted some of these other songs,
that it'd be even more up in people's minds. For me, now to our overall score, I'm giving this thing a solid 8 out of 10. That's a consistently great album, and an album I'd like to own on a little rating scale. So I really dug this thing. I'd kind of be curious to go back and hear some of the other stuff. So what about you?
I went with an 8.5 out of 10. So definitely a solid album.
Start to finish, nice and concise too. It's like 40 minutes, so I enjoy albums like that. I guess that about wraps it up for here today, guys. Really appreciate it. Please comment below and let us know what your favorite track was from this excellent album, start to finish. There's a lot of different ones that you can choose. Let us know what you think about the Eagles in general, and be sure to give us that big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. We upload twice a week and in a variety of genres, so there's going to be something for everybody, I'm sure of it. I want to thank Gina for joining us. We'll have more of her on in the future. And happy listening, my friends. We will see you next time.